All right, HBAR holders, I can't keep the truth away from you guys any longer. We have to talk about what's going on right now around the price action when it comes to Hedera and why we really aren't seeing any tremendous moves to the upside. With that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So one trend that I have been noticing in my comments, especially even on X, whenever I make a post about how bullish I am on HBAR, I see so many reply guys saying, nice one, the supply got diluted, now the price is basically at zero, it's done, it's not doing anything, what the hell is going on? Nice, altcoin to shill, blah, 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 all this nonsense. And, one thing that I will say right now when it comes to the space is I feel as though there is a lot of new participants that just don't understand how crypto cycles work, how crypto works. And, as we look at HBAR, has it had its hiccups along the way? 100%. But also, remember that back in 2020 into 2021, if you were buying during this drop in the beginning of 2020, or even if you bought, during the March lows as well, you netted some serious gains, 10x. If you bought the lows back in 2020, you netted a 50x plus return. So HBAR back in 2021 didn't underperform. It wasn't garbage. And this time around, I see a lot of people already getting, extremely negative, all the FUD, and is some of it called for? Sure. But a lot of it is just comparing price action. If we look at the top 100 and we go to the last 30 days, look at the gains in the top 100 in the last 30 days. We're not even talking the last 24 hours. Guys, there is not a lot of growth happening in this space right now. Even if we look at the top losers, right? Again, we're in the top 100. HBAR is technically doing better than most of the altcoins in the top 100, including even Ethereum. If we look at the last 90-day performance in this space, okay? How about we just go to year to date, okay? There's some nice gains here, a lot of it meme coin wise, but we're talking year to date, the last 9 months. Guys, after a lot of the meme coins and the newly listed tokens like Mantra, for an example, the gains start to taper off. We're already sub 200%, and we're already sub 100% here. And a lot of these altcoins are now in the double digits on the year-to-date gains. And yes, there are ones that are negative. XRP's negative. A lot of these altcoins are negative, including, of course, HBAR. But HBAR is not the worst one. We have ADA here, Algorand, QNT, Axie Infinity, Injective, Polkadot, Filecoin. I mean, the list goes on here. So what is really going on? Is it bad performance on the token side of things, or is it something going on in the market? Like maybe, are we in an altcoin capitulation type event in this space where Bitcoin dominance is still well over 50%? Could it be that? While Bitcoin continues to range and trail sideways to the downside, while fear and greed still are in the fearful levels? This is why I say don't just focus on price action to determine if a project is good or not. Now let's actually talk about a few things that just recently happened around Hedera and HBAR. Number one, let's start off with the post that I did put out saying that I'm extremely bullish on Hedera and HBAR because of this recent announcement. All right. I said you can clearly see the path forward for some of these projects. The majority of the investors in this space are too blinded by short-term price action to realize what's coming and where we are going. Remember what BlackRock CEO Larry Fink told you. ETFs were simply a distraction and tokenization was the real target. Now, if we think about this, right? Here we have the announcement from Hedera. This is regarding their tokenization studio. This is actually very, very exciting. We have an open source accelerator developed with all of these great players, Hashgraph, IO Builders, and even Red Swan. Now, Red Swan, we have been following Red Swan for so long. Commercial real estate tokenization platform, very solid. We've been following them, like I said, for a very long time. And we have here, you don't have digital securities yet. Select if you want to create a new digital security or import an existing one. Again, this is very, very, very exciting stuff, guys, because securities, the DTCC, just one name, settles $3 quadrillion worth of securities per year. And they are in on the tokenization game, by the way. But here we have issue tokenized equities and bonds in a few clicks. Choose digital security type, extend ERC 1400 functionality, and it also supports US SEC Regulation D and Regulation S. Extend it to further jurisdictions, supports wallet integration, rule management, all that kind of good stuff. This is very, very exciting. And we have led by our ecosystem partners, the HBAR Foundation, Hashgraph, Red Swan, and IO Builders. The Asset Tokenization Studio, built on the Hedera network, enables institutions and developers to securely manage entire asset life cycles on chain, ownership of assets, compliance components like KYC and whitelisting, document handling, and notifications. Asset Tokenization Studio leverages Hedera's unique network features to address compliance, security, and regulatory requirements needed by users. There are 2 accessible options to jumpstart testing and development: a production-grade TypeScript SDK and a web UI. Both tools are open source under an Apache 2.0 license, with the code to be publicly available on GitHub. Now, again, like I said, every single thing that we are seeing from Hedera is to support enterprises, support institutions, and technically even the retail sector. I'm very excited about this announcement because as we really look at what's going on here, tokenization is one of the biggest things to focus on. BlackRock, all of the major institutional players, every single major thing that we see from a big asset management company or institution is revolving around tokenization. Swift, the massive powerhouse behind payments globally, 11,000 plus institutions tied to them, is exploring tokenization and specifically the scaling of digital assets. Most people are so asleep at the wheel right now. The only thing that they're sitting there looking at is the daily chart, and they're going, what's happening here? Why isn't HBAR pumping? Why is my bags not worth so much? Guys, this is investing. I don't know who needs to tell you or teach you how investing works, but investing is not investing money in on Monday and pulling it out by Friday. If we look at the 1-year performance on HBAR, yeah, it's not the best. The all-time, again, not the best. But overall, when we think about this space, we are still heavily tied to Bitcoin. We're still in a capitulation-like event. We're still watching Bitcoin closely. We're still waiting for Bitcoin dominance to break down while Bitcoin pumps the upside, allowing for all season to happen. But guess what? We're also headed towards a utility bull cycle where utility reigns supreme. And that's what determines the price. That's why we focus on these things like the Tokenization Studio that are pushing this space forward and ultimately welcoming in institutions, enterprises that want to tokenize. This is very exciting to me because you can clearly see everything aligning perfectly for when we have regulatory clarity. Regulatory clarity is going to open the door for so much money to pour in, so much value to be realized as well. And I think that that's when everything will change. And we have a few quotes here. We have the Asset Tokenization Studio as the result of months of development, fine-tuning, and critical examination of existing hindrances to commercial tokenized real-world asset adoption. Financial institutions, regulators, and banks across the globe are grasping the far-reaching benefits of tokenization and its ability to solve many of the pain points plaguing our current systems. The Hedera network delivers the speed, security, and scalability lacking across existing financial infrastructures. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? We are witnessing the rise of new financial infrastructure. Believe it or not, it might sound like I'm trying to, clickbait and get clicks but we are really witnessing new financial infrastructure rising in front of our face. The BIS has been telling us this, the World Economic Forum, the World Bank. I mean, all of these massive organizations that are actually pulling the strings around our global financial system are telling you what's coming with DLT and blockchain with AI. And a lot of these players are tied right back to Hedera, tied back to players like Ripple as well. And I keep telling you guys this because, I know for a fact that it's sticking with a few of you. I know for a fact that there's a few of you out there that realize what's coming. I know that there's a large crowd that is still focused on the price action, and that's okay. But I just want you guys to realize that we are witnessing the evolution of everything around us. And also, stablecoins. Remember that Hedera has their stablecoin studio. Now they have their asset tokenization studio, and they also have the Guardian. All of these things are steps placed here so that we could realize in the end goal, which is tokenization of basically everything of value. But it's also to open the gates to institutions and enterprises. I always do go back to the original quote from Larry Fink, which was, ETFs were the start. Tokenization is the big thing. Tokenization has been on fire. That's why I look at, all right, what's going to be the most efficient player when it comes to tokenization? Hedera wants to be that. Hedera wants to be a big player here. That's why we also look at Zonix, right? Zonix is a game changer. They did announce, the partnership with Ripple and also Hedera. You can clearly see these two players, really kind of coming together. Ripple and Hedera are at the forefront of almost everything. But even if we look here, right, you can see that almost all of these companies that are major players that have been around the space, around technology for a while, they are now realizing, like, listen, this is the next big thing. Look at the use case around this. All right. Real estate. They might be just looking at commercial real estate here in terms of how much they have tokenized. But global real estate, guys, is a $300+ trillion asset class. 380 trillion the last time I looked at it. Private yachts, we have debt funds, private equity funds, supply chain invoices, carbon credits and ESG, alternative assets as well, private credit opportunities, sovereign debt funds, VC funds. The list just goes on when we think about where we are headed. Okay? And I really want you guys to understand that this is infrastructure. All of this is infrastructure that is now becoming a big focus from the institutional side, from the private sector. This is why I talk about some of these projects. Yeah, I get it, right? Price action is obviously a big focus. Everyone wants price action. But we don't get there without separating the utility from the hype and speculation. Everyone is still tied to Bitcoin. Everything in the space is still tied to Bitcoin. When we finally break the chains and we have utility unleashed, these assets like Hedera, like Ripple with XRP, Quant, Casper, all of them, all of a sudden, the utility will determine the price. And at that point, this entire space changes. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.